So, hi guys, thank you for joining in. Today we have an interview session with a parent. Okay, why? Because a lot of people right now during this MCO time, right? Everybody's at home, they don't know what to do, and if they have kids, wow, how to handle, right? And a lot of things going on right now. People are talking about what Google Classroom. So today we have someone here. His name is called Anthony, and he himself, right, is actually using Google Classroom. Okay, so come Anthony, tell us about yourself and like where you come from and the father of how many kids.
Hi everybody, hi, I'm Anthony. Well, basically I'm a father of two kids. One is 6 years old, one is 3 years old. Both of them are now going to preschool. We stay in Cheras. Yep. So currently only my eldest one is actually going through the Google Classroom, whereas my younger one is playing around.
Okay, so your
Yeah.
youngest daughter is 6 years old using Google Classroom. Do you mind to share like your experience with Google Classroom? We're hearing a lot about this Google Classroom thing, but we don't really know like how is it like being a parent and using Google Classroom. Is it like user friendly, stuff like that? Do tell us.
Yeah, so basically, as a first timer to Google Classroom, it was pretty abrupt when the school announced that we have to do Google Classroom for our kid. Basically, pretty abrupt, about just 2 days heads up before they announced, and they said, okay, please pay up your April school fees, even though it's a 50% discount, and then you will only be allowed in the Google Classroom that is being set up. So that's what we did, pay up immediately, and then sign her up for the Google Classroom. So what the entire Google Classroom entail is that basically you're given a link. You got to sign up via a Gmail first for the child, and then they will assign you to a classroom in Google. So the link is sent daily to the Gmail, and when you access the Gmail, you just click on that link. It will transport you to Google Classroom, and here is where the lesson happens. All right. So the school is pretty nice enough to give us various links for the entire lesson that my girl is actually taking in her school. So you have BM, BI, Chinese, Maths, Science, and project-based learning. So these are all the links. So once we open up the Google Classroom, we have to open the links for the girl so that they actually can access the videos for themselves. Okay, so of course for 6-year-old, they are not 100% independent yet, so we still have to guide them how to open and then how to play and then how to actually go on to the next link and the next link and the next link. Yeah, and of course the lessons that is taught is between as short as 10 minutes to as long as about 20 minutes with about 5 minutes break in between. So they actually show you the classroom video, the lesson video, and then they will show you a timer of 5 minutes for the break. So they ask you to go and drink water, toilet break, and all these sort of things, and then carry on. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, so they means need to sign up. But then I thought they said the Google Classroom is free. You just mentioned that wow, we need to pay a fee. Okay, so it's a 50% of the fee, right? I'm gonna go to
Yes,
that
yes.
for a bit. So actually, how is your experience? So what do you think like as a parent? Is Google Classroom really helping you? Is it what you want? Is it for your child?
Well, I mean, at this current moment with the MCO in place, it is better than nothing lah.
Okay.
So my child will still get some lessons that she's actually missing from actually going to a physical classroom.
Mm-hmm.
But this one actually has got a different process to it, because over here, the Google Classroom, the onus or the ownership of the Google Classroom actually falls 100% onto the child and the parent to actually view the content and then do the exercise as per instructed by the lessons that is in the links or the videos. And then if we assign exercises, we are given a link or a PDF copy of the exercise, and we have to download and then print it out and then ask the child to actually do the exercise as per instructed by the video. So it's a lot of work to be done. So if there is both parents who is working from home, like myself and my wife, then it'll be a challenge because then we have no one to actually guide the child to do the work. Yeah, and then the worst thing is that we have some limitation in the Google Classroom whereby the school actually locked down the opening and the closing of the access to the Google Classroom. So like my girl, the opening is 9:30 to 11:30. So 2 hours of availability for her to view the Google Classroom. We cannot download the videos. It's not allowed. And then you have a second session, which is between 4:30 to 6:30. So imagine if, let's say, we are working from home and in the morning, you know that it's the most busiest time. So we have to do our own work. Plus, we have to actually follow the child throughout the Google Classroom, and there is a time limit bound. So the challenge is there. We are limited by time, and we are not even given a chance to view it after office hours, which is beyond 6:30, which is where we get off work officially. Yeah, so that is one of the challenge that I face for Google Classroom for my girl.
Wow, that's like it sounds like a lot of limitation, and it sounds like they need to log in, go to Google, Gmail. It's what 6-year-old child logging into the email and knowing where to pick what. So sounds like a lot of work. All right. So
Yeah,
you
there's a
mentioned.
lot of steps. There's a lot of steps. For adult, we find it that it's a second nature. We can do it. But for them, because it's something new to them to go into
Yeah.
Google Classroom, so they need to really get accustomed to it before they get better at accessing it on their own.
So just now you mentioned that you need to actually access the PDF and you need to download, then you need to print. How about families who, I'm thinking of families who like don't have printers, for example. How, like, what to do
Mhm.
next? Or families who, like you say, cannot meet this requirement of this particular time and this particular time. Then how about them?
Yeah. So this is for me. I'm lucky because I have my own printer scanner at home.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm very pretty easy to download and print out myself. There's no hassle. But for people who don't have access to a printer at home, the only option for them is to write down the exercise in an exercise book. So it means you got to copy the content of that particular exercise into the exercise book so that the child can actually do it from there. So if the child is independent enough to copy it on their own to the exercise book, then it's fine. If not, then it will be, Daddy, Mommy, can you help me copy this down first? And then I can do the exercise. So again, like I said, a lot of responsibility to the child and to the parent to actually go through 100% of the Google Classroom.
Wow, that's really a handful. So you were mentioning that okay, you were asked like what few weeks after the lockdown, and then like suddenly you were given like 2 days notice to handle like the fee, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
do you mind sharing like how much is the fee you had to handle in order to get the Google Classroom, which everyone thought is free?
Yes. Of course, for my girls' class, usual class per month is 450
Okay.
ringgit. Yeah, that is a normal fee. So because of the MCO and the COVID situation, they were kind enough to cut it by 50%. So I still have to pay 225 for the school fees. So because they don't allow us to opt in or opt out for the school lesson because we paid the semester and we got to still continue paying the month. So what they say is that even though you are paying for the school fees, this Google Classroom is actually provided to you complimentary. But I feel that I'm paying for the Google Classroom lah. So for me, it's no difference than paying the school fee by them going physically to the school, and this Google Classroom, which is supposed to meant to be complimentary, but I still have to pay for it for that fee that they mentioned. Yeah.
So what's your take? How do you feel about this? Like, okay, you have to pay the 50%.
I feel if they would really say it's free, they would have waived the school fees by on its own, and then provide it as a service to the parents and the students who are going to their schools. I think that would be a more fitting way to handle it with the children and of course the parents as well. But over here, I know the school is pretty sticky about it, so they don't allow any other ideas or discussion on or waiver on the fee. So we have to pay if let's say we want to gain access to the Google Classroom. So it's not entirely free. I still have to pay for it in order to gain access to the Google Classroom. Yeah.
So what's next? Like now is like, okay, April, right? And then they said the lockdown might end, but nobody knows. Everybody predicts it's going to be longer. So seems like it's going to be a while. And do you know
Yes,
like what's
it
going to
is.
happen next?
Well, I had a conversation with the principal. I'm very appreciative that the principal called me to explain the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm one of the few parents who actually wrote in a very long email to ask why I have to pay for this, why I have to pay for that, and what is your plan for the future if let's say the MCO should prolong. So according to principal, they said they will predict that this one will actually go on until maybe end of May. So I said, well, if it's going to go until end of May, are you going to continue this Google Classroom in this manner? Or are you still going to charge me for the fees until the end of May? And as we all know, the school syllabus or the schooling year for children ends at May, and then they will have a break for before they start the next semester. So
Yes.
all this is still not planned. They are playing it by ear as well, looking at what the government is going to introduce, further tighter MCO or longer MCO, we don't know. The fees, I think they are pretty stuck on it. They still probably want us to pay. Of course, we now have the option. Let's say if I want to discontinue uh, paying for the fees, means that I have to pull out my girl for this semester, and then
Oh,
I'm pulling her out from school, and then I don't need to access the Google Classroom anymore. But if I want to re-enter the class again, the new semester in June, I have to pay a re-registration fee.
wow.
So there's again another payment here, payment there lah. So means if I stick to it, I still got to pay. If I don't stick to it, I will still have to pay something when I come back again to the school.
So
Yeah.
it's like
So
no matter what you do, you walk front also same, you walk back also same, you
yeah.
remain also same. So you're actually having a lot of headache here as well. I mean, this is you are talking about just kindy only, you know. I mean, when your daughter goes to primary one, then it's another whole story again. So it's a lot going
all,
on.
all this issue of why I'm going and paying for the Google Classroom is because my girl is in year 6 and next year is standard 1.
Yeah.
By right, she should be in P1 class already, means preparatory for standard 1,
Okay.
which we already enrolled. And now it's totally stopped. And they're not doing any Google Classroom for this P1 class, which is more important, I feel. They are just still doing the syllabus for the preschool year 6. So I
Oh,
feel that it's not enough. And I feel that if she misses out this time for her to prepare, then when she is introduced to standard 1 next year, then there will be a culture shock for her because she's not well prepared enough to go into standard 1.
I see. Wow, that's a lot. So a lot of parents also having all this headache right now. I believe people out there who are like Anthony have kids who are like 6 years old or maybe slightly older who maybe like overwhelmed with Google Classroom homework. I heard like a lot of people saying that overwhelming of homeworks and stuff like that. So I didn't know like is it really true? And they say it's free, and yeah, I just had to ask. So that's why today we are actually interviewing you because you are going through it. It's been how long since you're using Google Classroom?
Now about 3 weeks.
3 weeks. And
Yeah.
yeah, 3 weeks, and you don't know how long to go.
Well, I mean, we just have to navigate as we go along. I mean, there is no choice. Google Classroom at this current moment is clicking on links and then going to view the video. But from my understanding, later on it will probably evolve where the videos are no longer coming from the HQ of this school. It will come from the franchisor that is running the school. So the classroom teacher is probably going to prepare the materials on her own, and then she will also sit down together with the children via Zoom. As of now, already doing it once a day, where they have the instruction videos from 9 to 11. Then the child can break and play and or revise. And then at 7 o'clock, the class teacher will have Zoom with all the entire class of about 25 students. So she
Oh,
will then have a Zoom revision with them and say that, okay, today you've gone through this lesson, that lesson. What have you learned? Do you understand? And she will, of course, pose some question to the child, and then she will pick randomly one or two, few child to actually answer. So if the child can answer, so she knows that the instruction video is understood by the child. But if there's a child who cannot answer, then she said, okay, never mind, you need to do revision again with your
wow.
parents, and then you have to improve from there. But that is where the issue again comes, where they lock down the Google Classroom videos, and once you are locked out already, you cannot do the revision because there's no way for you to access it. So the teacher will have to improvise on a method where the revision can be done on an off time manner so that we can access it anytime. If it is given the specific time, we cannot access after office hour, then how to do revision? That is a problem. So that's why you see the process of this Google Classroom for this school is very not child friendly and also not very parent friendly.
I believe so. Like, seems like you are very dissatisfied with the current situation right now, and already paid the fee and wrote a very long letter, and now tied down by the time
not,
somehow.
not me alone. We have a WhatsApp group with the other parents, and everyone from day one were complaining how to access, why they do this so abruptly, why don't they open up the access throughout the day, why do they need to lock? Then all these issues within only the parents in the group will know, but the teachers, she doesn't know until the principal called me. I told her these are the things that we are facing. What are you doing about it? So principal said, yeah, this is problem. We will bring up to the board of directors and da 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 da. And then she came back to me and said the board of directors said no. So okay, fine. So you're going to continue like that.
So
And
it
we
seems
have to
like
just
a lot of parents also very like unhappy with this matter of handling the situation lah, for current
yeah.
state in Google Classroom. So how now as a
Mhm.
parent, besides Google Classroom, are there any other ways that actually maybe or you outsource or no, maybe you have any other creative ideas as a parent that you use besides Google Classroom? Are there any?
Well, of course, the best method is to have a home tutor come to the house, and
Wow.
they can help. They can help the child. They can help the child go through the lesson. But of course, with MCO, sorry, no home tutor. If you want to pay, also no one will come. Yeah. So basically, it's either that or I've discovered one more method that I can use.
Mhm.
Is an online program which I'm currently using now with my girl. So basically, I'm using this with her to go through the P1 preparatory lessons so that she will not be too overwhelmed when she is introduced to Standard 1. I'm not too worried about the current syllabus for the preschool. I'm more concerned about the Standard 1. Yeah.
Okay. So you were saying this program that you mentioned just now, like what is this program? How did it help your child? Like in what sense? Like you said it helped your child, right? How much did it help your child and how does it help your child?
Yeah. So basically, this one is able to help in a way because from what I can see, it follows the school syllabus. Yeah, so all the subjects that is actually available in Standard 1 is actually on this system. Hold on a second. Yes, please go ahead. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, my kids now asking me for the iPad.
Okay.
Okay, so as I was saying, the system is actually following the school syllabus. So for Standard 1, all the subjects from Bahasa Malaysia, English, Maths, Chinese, so I'm sending my girl to SCKC. So the Chinese and the science is all there. So it's following the school syllabus. So I'm pretty relieved that I can actually follow the syllabus because I myself have been out of touch with the schooling system for a very long time. So at least this one, it gives me a guide that I can rely on. And then I don't need to actually research from scratch on my own by looking or borrowing Standard 1 pupils' textbook to actually do my notes and also guide my girl to actually go through some of the lessons. I mean, I will not be able to go through all the lessons with her, but at least I can use this tool as a guide.
I see. Like, what does this so-called program you mentioned? Like, what does it give inside? Like you're mentioning, there are some subjects, and like, what are the maybe how can it guide your child? You know, as a parent point of view.
Mhm. Basically, the program has got you have the access to all the subjects that is taught in the school.
Okay.
All right. Then of course there are a lot of different features that you can actually tap on in this system. You have actually notes which already been pre-prepared for you to go through with your child. You don't need to prepare the notes. And then after every note, you can actually access to the exercises which is in question format. So the question format is also very good because actually I can let my child, once she has gone through the notes, do the exercise on her own. Reason why I don't need to be sitting down there to supervise is because the exercise is self-marking. auto marking.
I see.
Yeah.
So you don't need
So
to put down a mark.
yes, I don't need to go through the questions and then after I have to go and mark the answers. Here, it actually auto mark. It tells my child whether it's correct or wrong on the spot right after she answered the question.
Oh,
So with that, she also will know whether what she did is correct or wrong. Yeah, and from here, I can just later on, once I have the time, I just review back what she has done. Then I know whether she understood what she has read in the notes or not. If she doesn't understand, then a lot of the questions will be wrong. But if she understand, then the questions she will get them right. And for those wrong question, is it just one or two question that is wrong, or everything is wrong? Means if everything is wrong, means I know that she doesn't understand at all the lesson. If it's only one or two minor mistakes, that means I think she understand, but she still need guidance to improve further. So at least this one, I know where she's going right and where she's going wrong.
You mentioned that
So
your daughter
besides
is
this, I
very
think
young, right? She's very young. Is it
it,
sufficient enough just having a notes alone? Like you were mentioning just notes only. Is it enough for her?
of course, the notes, we also will have to guide her to read. Reading is still something that still need to be improved. But if let's say she doesn't have 100% ability to read the entire notes, there is also short videos for her to leverage on. So
Also,
videos are not very long, not like my Google Classroom, which is about 10 to 20 minutes sort of video, but the video is about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes on every unit of the subject. Let's say if she's doing nouns, yeah? So there will be a short video at the end of the notes to tell her what is nouns in a video format. So this one also will help her understanding besides just the notes alone.
so you were mentioning just now that you are able to view back what your daughter have done. Like, how is that possible? Is it like what manner that you can view back what she have done, and how do you know what she got correct or wrong?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is where the advantage of having this system with this particular feature. I think they call it the report card feature. It's where actually it records whatever the child actually has already done. All the exercises that the child has already done is recording the time frame that they took to do it, how many questions that she did, how many questions that she did which is correct, how many questions she did which is wrong. So with just a click of a button, we can actually see all this information. So this is where it's pretty advantageous to have this feature where, as a parent, this is something which I'm looking for because I can actually now know whether my child is doing well or not doing well in a particular subject in the syllabus. Because even if I send her to tuition or even if we go to the Google Classroom, if she doesn't understand a particular area, it's very difficult for us to pinpoint until or unless we specifically ask that particular area that she doesn't know. Then she said, "Yeah, I don't know." Then only you know. But over here with this report card feature, I can straight away see, oh, this is the some area that she is having difficulty understanding or difficulty getting the answer correct. Is where I can actually go in and pinpoint.
I see. So it's like Google Classroom and this particular program that you're mentioning, right? What is it like? How is it like the exercise? How different it is? Like, what is the difference between these two? Both also exercise, right? You know what I mean? But what is the difference between Google Classroom and this program?
Yeah, so the difference is one is difficult exercise, one is pretty automated exercise. So like earlier I told you, the Google Classroom, you got to download the exercise
Yeah.
that is being sent through the mail, and then you got to print it out, and then they only can do. Whereas if you look at the system that I'm also using for my child, the exercise is already online, means it's immediately accessible. I don't need to download and print. I can immediately ask her once she gone through the lesson, straight away she can do the exercises on the spot, and then straight away is marked by the system itself. So there is no need to have an external printer or anything else other than your PC that you're accessing the system, the program with.
Okay, so it's very straightforward. Everything is there. Do they have any time limitation like Google Classroom? You mentioning Google Classroom is only like what? From 9 to 11:30. Then after that 4 to 6. There's a lock time. Then how about this program? Does it have the same problem as well?
No. Unfortunately, it doesn't have. It's basically you can access it from any time at all and from anywhere as long as you have an internet connection. Um, you just need to have your access through your password and your login name, and then that's it. Then you can access it anytime. So this is helpful because then I'm not really time bound like what the Google Classroom is doing. I can actually go through the revision with my daughter after office hours or during the weekend. Yeah, because the Google Classroom only opens from Monday to Friday and in that two particular time.
Wow.
There's no open in the weekend. So you cannot do anything in the weekend with the Google Classroom. Yeah, whereas over here with the system, I can do it after office hours during the weekday or any time during the weekend when we set a particular time with my daughter and then we sit down and do the lessons together.
So
So
let's
this is giving us the flexibility as working parents. We are all working from home. So this is a flexibility which is really something good to have.
I see. So there is a big difference here. And I believe a lot of parents out there will be asking another question. How many questions do they have? Is it like, do they have to like Google Classroom? Is it a day-to-day basis upload or you can see everything, and like how many questions they have compared to here? I bet a lot of Asian parents, they like to know this question. Like, what's the answer? Like, is it like a few questions? Like 5, 10, you know what I mean? From the program?
From the program, well, basically, I think every single module is broken down to their respective units. So every single unit, they will have questions of between 10 questions to 15 questions per unit. So if you add up the entire entire module, you can have between 5 to 10 units, and 5 to 10 units, if every one unit has got 10 questions, you probably have about 100 questions there already for the child to actually do.
Wow.
So it's a lot compared to what we are receiving using the Google Classroom, because it's only by, let's say, 2 to 3 days, they will have one exercise for one particular lesson. That's about it. Maybe for some of my other friends who actually have got child going to primary school already, they will have like daily exercises, but that is also like, again, you have to download and do it. But over here, straight away, you will have every single unit, you will have 10 to 15 questions. Immediately after doing the lesson, you can already do it without disrupting, wait for you to download, wait for you to print out, and then only they can do it, or you copy it into the book. Yeah.
So that means from your point of view, it's very like sufficient already. Talking about like wow, like 100 over just only for one like module, is it? One module or section?
Yeah, one module of the syllabus. It's a lot to go through. Not to say that it's sufficient, but for the child, 10 to 15 questions every unit is a lot. If you get through even half of them, every module is already very good. But of course, the more the better lah. Then we know that if she still can't finish up, then she have a remainder to still continue with it. Or if she's really good, then she can finish up pretty quickly. Then at least I also know she can do these questions.
A lot of parents out there right now are like thinking, oh, the kids will get bored, If it's just like answering questions, it's gonna be bored. Like this program you mentioned, is it just one method? Like is it just like what you say, a questionnaire, ask and answer? Although it's good, it's instant smart, but is it just one method alone? Or maybe is there other alternative or something like that?
Well, I think what I mentioned is just one part of the exercise that is available in the system. Of course, the system has got various other features or various other exercises. They actually have got different exercises. Example, you also have fill in the blanks. You have objective questions where you pick the correct answer, and then you have the subjective questions as well. And then you also have got media quiz, which of course a lot of schools can't do it because you need to have a media device to play the media, then only the child can do it. Then this is where it's already inbuilt in this system where they have like media exercises, and then once you go through the media, then you can also answer the subsequent questions. So these are like a few of the example of the questions or the exercises that is available on the system. So it's just not one type of exercise. There's various types of exercises that the child can be exposed to.
So far, how is your child's feedback after using the program? Is she receptive? Is she taking it good or not?
Well, I think her enthusiasm speak for itself. Once I showed her already, she will like now she usually we ask her to study is like a lot of reasons. I want to eat this first before I study. I want to watch my YouTube first before I study. But with this program, surprisingly, she will say, Daddy, can I now have access to answer the program with the questions? So it's like, okay, this is like surprising to me. I mean, she's like interested now to ask me to want to learn or want to do the exercises in the program. So this is
Wow.
something very different from having to coax her into studying. Now she's asking us for it to do the exercises. So it's a very different sort of reception from her, from
Sounds
the
like
system.
you're really happy with the outcome because you don't
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to.
Yeah, I'm already going through the pain through Google Classroom. So now with this one, I see the alternative to a Google Classroom. So everything is much more smoother and everything much more accessible and user friendly. So that I don't have to have I don't have to think a lot of ways to solve the issues that I encountered in Google Classroom.
Oh, I see. So, okay, I think by now a lot of people are anxious, knowing, like, want to find out what is this thing that Anthony is keep on mentioning this program. What is this program that actually like helped you so much, and your daughter is so happy that she will go like, Daddy, can I start answering the question? I think everybody out there, all the parents out there, even me myself, I want to know what is this thing about until this little 6-year-old girl is pestering you that she wants more. So can you tell us, Anthony, what is the sleep care? What is this program?
Oh, well, this program is basically called We School Trend. So
Okay.
I discovered this program that is mainly focusing on school syllabus for children of this age. Yeah.
Okay. Then from the way you mentioned, it sounds like, it sounds pretty much expensive. I mean, like just now you're telling your daughter half price. Okay, for Google Classroom is already what, 225 per month. And that is
Yeah,
also teacher discount. So like this, it sounds very, very, very expensive, Anthony. I think people are starting to worry. And how much would it be?
well, this is only costing me about one ringgit a day. So it's not really expensive. If you think in the terms of per year, yeah. So it's not per month. One ringgit a day with the full year access. So it's pretty affordable. Come to think of it.
Wow. So you're talking about so it's a based on a yearly subscription. Hello. So it's
Yeah.
based on a yearly subscription, and so it's like a one-time thing, and you subscribe, and then you get the whole year access. Am I right?
Yes, correct. So you just need to subscribe by paying once, and you have the access for the entire year.
Wow. It's a really like big difference compared to your Google Classroom, whereby you need to pay every month, every single month. It's like, and you don't know you need to pay until when.
Yeah. So that is the question for that. The uncertainty is really not doing me or my girl any favors.
Mhm.
So we have to source for an alternative that in the event that the school will still undergo MCO. And even though we hear now, even if MCO is lifted, children are still not advisable to return to school physically. So
Mm.
we really don't know what is going to happen. So for me, that's why looking for an alternative, a reliable alternative, is something which I've already done. And if needs be, then if we are all working from home, at least we still have a reliable system that I can use to actually go through the lessons with my girl until the situation improves.
Wow, okay. True, true. So that it sounds like you already got yourself covered here, finding that amazing system that wow, it sounds great. And the price is like what, one buck a day. It's like what can you do, 1 buck?
Yeah, so it's basically lesser than what I pay for my Google Classroom.
Yeah, it's really lesser than what you pay. So if you have any advice out there, right, for it can be parents or like kids or I don't know, whoever out there, what advice do you have for them, especially for parents? I mean, on your parents' point of view, parents to parents, what do you have like advice for them?
Well, basically, I think if you want to know or you want to have an access to a very reliable education system which follows the school syllabus, this is something which is really great to have. It's really loaded with features. Not only that, it actually follow the school syllabus. So you know that whatever you're using is reliable enough that you do not actually miss out on the actual teaching of the school lessons in school, which you now have. If you want to, you can have access at home for your child. So it is really convenient, and the child is already exposed to computers and smart devices. So for them to pick up and use it is really, really easy. So for us working from home is also good for the parents. We get to monitor them at our own pace, at our own time. And then we also know that what are the lessons that they will go through in the time of this MCO.
I see. So let's just say if any parents out there, right, are like, just like you at the start, where they start with this Google Classroom, or like me, I personally, my kids don't even have Google Classroom at all. The teacher didn't even contact; they just WhatsApp images and say, okay, go and do this. So for parents like us, if you want to have exposure to the program that you mentioned just now, the program name is what's the program name?
School Trend.
Okay, for this V School Trend program, how can we can we contact you, or how can we go about this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can always contact me via WhatsApp on my mobile number. You can contact me on 013-351-8343. If you're interested or you want to know more, you actually can just give me a call, and I can just let you know about the program even more in depth.
Oh, that's great. That's great, Anthony. I think you really save a lot of parents out there. And I think the parents who are complaining, the community that you mentioned just now, I think they will also benefit, especially if the kids are moving to primary one by next year, right? And we don't know when are the schools going to reopen, and it's going to be a while, because once everything once everything settled down, it's not like they can immediately go back to school. Definitely, there will be like a cooling off period where everything settles down. Predictions are it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. And since like now parents are stuck at home, either they're going to deal with the Google Classroom, like your case or my case, whereby the teacher don't send any material at all. I think this will be like the savior. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it seems like you're very happy with the program and your child is loving it. So I think it's good to try it out. It's just like $1 a day, right? You mentioned like $1.
Yeah, I mean, it's
You
definitely
already
is
paid more
$1 a
than
day. I mean, I'm paying more than that on a monthly basis for the school fees already. So having this system is really something really beneficial.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So I would like to thank you, Anthony, for your time, and really spending your time going through with us, sharing your experience about Google Classroom, and also introducing such a new program that can help parents, can help kids, start to really start to move them to the next level. And this is me, Krystle Wong here. Gonna sign off and hope that this little quick interview helped you guys out there, parents. If you're stuck, you don't know what's happening, what is Google Classroom? Does it help you or not? I hope that this interview helped you guys. Okay, so see you all. Bye.